When the Founding Fathers created the United States, they achieved something unprecedented. They defeated the most powerful empire in the world and built a republic based on liberty, representation, and the rule of law. Yet hidden within that remarkable achievement was a fatal flaw, one decision that would haunt the nation for generations. The Founding Fathers' biggest mistake was not military or diplomatic, it was moral. Their failure to confront slavery at the nation's birth. In 1776, the Declaration of Independence boldly proclaimed that all men are created equal. These words echoed Enlightenment ideals and inspired people across the world. But even as they were written, nearly 1/5 of America's population was enslaved. Many of the men who signed the Declaration owned slaves themselves. The contradiction was obvious, and many knew it. When the Constitutional Convention met in Philadelphia in 1787, the issue of slavery threatened to destroy the fragile Union before it was born. Delegates from northern states increasingly opposed slavery, while southern states depended on it economically and socially. Without compromise, there would be no Constitution and, possibly, no United States at all. So the Founding Fathers chose unity over justice. One of the most infamous decisions was the 3/5 compromise, which allowed enslaved people to be counted as 3/5 of a person for representation, even though they had no rights. This gave slaveholding states greater political power while preserving slavery itself. Another compromise allowed the transatlantic slave trade to continue for at least 20 more years. The Constitution also included a fugitive slave clause, forcing free states to return escaped enslaved people to bondage. These were not accidents. They were deliberate choices. Some founders believed slavery would fade away on its own. Others feared that confronting it directly would lead to disunion or civil war. George Washington privately hoped for gradual abolition. Thomas Jefferson called slavery a moral depravity, yet freed almost none of the people he enslaved. Their words acknowledged the problem, but their actions postponed it. That postponement proved disastrous. By avoiding the issue, the Founding Fathers embedded slavery into the nation's political system. As the United States expanded westward, every new territory raised the same explosive question: free or slave? Compromises followed: Missouri, Kansas, Nebraska, but each one only delayed the inevitable. Tensions grew, trust collapsed, and violence followed. The cost of this original mistake became clear in 1861. When the nation tore itself apart in the Civil War, more than 600,000 Americans died in a conflict rooted directly in slavery and institution the founders had chosen not to end when they had the chance. The war finally abolished slavery, but at a price far higher than earlier generations could have imagined. The mistake also left a deeper legacy. Even after emancipation, the failure to establish equality at the nation's founding allowed racism and injustice to persist. Jim Crow laws, segregation, systemic inequality grew from the same unresolved contradiction. A nation founded on liberty, but compromised by bondage. It is important to understand the context. The Founding Fathers were products of their time, operating in a fragile moment of history. Their achievements were extraordinary, but recognizing their greatness does not require ignoring their failures. In fact, understanding those failures helps explain America's struggles more honestly. The founders built a powerful framework for freedom, but they left its most important promise unfinished. Their greatest mistake was believing that liberty could wait, that injustice could be postponed without consequence. History proved otherwise. America's story is not just one of ideals declared, but of ideals delayed and of the long, painful effort to make those ideals real.